Hello, Collective. Wendy Joy, Love and Light. I was thinking about what I was going to do today in what order, and it dawned on me that today, if you want to think about it as far as numerology goes, a day in which energy encompasses numbers and how it influences or could, be invited into our existence by harnessing the positive of what each number carries, right? And then I started to chuckle because when I looked at or remembered that today is the 6th month, it's May. No, it's June. I'm sorry. Last night, May 31st, was the blue full moon, right? One that we don't see again for another cycle. I think they said 2 years. Regardless, the energy, you can call in, you can embrace with the numbers if you look at the benefits that numerology has to offer, like the cheat code, like the blueprint, if you will. So being that today is June 1st, right? That makes this a 6-month. If you look at it, right? January, February, March, April, May, June, 6. And then when you look at the numerology side of what the equation is, this is actually a 7-day, if you will, or a 7 cycle. Because when you add the 6 plus the year, that reduces down to a 1. 6 plus 1 is 7. So you almost start to see steps or a ladder or ascension, right? So far we have 6 and 7. And then when we look at what today's actual date is in numerology, then we go 1 digit further and add the day. And today's the 1st. So when you add 6 plus 1 plus 1, 2026 equals 1, right? Then you get 8. 6, 7, 8. Steps, ascension. And when you look at the value of these numbers, right? Even if you want to lead from the full moon last night, you have change with the number 5 for May, and you have creative new starts with the numbers 3, 1. If you want to look at the positive fullness of what those numbers indicate. And then when you come into today, being June 1st of 2026, then you're looking toward the ascension in an upward manner. Because what follows, right, the transformative or alchemized situation from the full moon's energy, right, giving you creative new beginnings or creative, leadership in your own life, then you look at the next day, which is 6, 7, 8. And those numbers are offering balance within your partnerships, your home life. Maybe if there was an illness or something that you're working through, I know I'm getting back my body. I've already received my mind and my clarity in its full entirety. Well, without the advancements or enhancements of what's yet to come, as my understanding, my inner knowing, and my divine perception and resonation of what I discover is remembered within my core. And it's more than just information I'm being taught. It's more like memories that are coming up to the surface that are finally waiting to be released, and set free. So that as I learn, discover, remember more parts of me, I feel, the clarity and the confidence in my structure and my stride. And I know with my ever evolving inner knowing and my clear communication with my spirit team, all that is holy and divine of the highest vibration, right? That it always leaves me feeling warm and loved and held inside. And that's because my energy resonates with the energy that I'm connecting to, with, or around in a positive, uplifting, interconnected, collaborative, like a combined effort, if you will. Because I have a vast army of angelic, of archangels, of angels, masters of many ranks and levels, we'll say, because I feel their presence, I hear their words, I listen to their guidance, I follow their direction, because it always leaves me feeling more upbeat, more whole, more like I've reached more people than what I could have done with just my, lemonade stand at the top of my block, hypothetically. And for that, I am definitely climbing the ascension steps of my life, broadening my reach, and bringing everyone under the umbrella of all of my insights and experiences. And when I look at this being an 8-day, right? Because when we realize that what we are bringing into our existence through our mindset and through the questions that we ask, we're in the 7 energy, which is learning, teaching, understanding, pivoting perception, being able to see things from a higher view, right? And when we walk into the abundance of the number 8, right, of the actual day in numerology today, and we carry the infinity of that energy, which is also an aspect of that sign, that symbol, that number, that meaning, or the way that we identify what makes perfect sense to us and resonates within our core. Like, we know it's real, we know it's good, we know it's true, and we know that if we handle that endeavor with the energy of can do, already done, achieved, and progressing to the next step, then we've already ascended past what it is that we thought we could have been. And when we look, we're getting ready to walk into the next day, which would be ending, right? Because if today's an 8, then tomorrow would be a 9, specifically for June 2nd, 2026. And that would be ending, or, gathering the value of what you've learned and only taking what benefits you and lightening your load, releasing the hindrance of what may once have held you down, but now you understand that you will never be held down, and the value that you take with every lesson that you gain for self-improvement, so that you as a person, have the ability to be able to see past the limited space that we were born into. And that's what we were. We were born into a limited space because the negative perception or the fear of us knowing our true capabilities, our true inner power, our already, destined achievements, right, to actually come into light, then there would be no room for someone who's trying to force you to live a life that benefits them but never benefited us. We didn't come, energy doesn't come from a place where money dictates how you live or what you're perceived to be. Your worth, your movements, your responses, that's what is supposed to determine what kind of person that you are, so that you as an individual have the ability to see clearly if where you stand is a good, beneficial, or a bad, non fulfilling place in your existence currently. Because we were always meant to walk through the trenches, so to speak, but we were always meant to do that and gather the value and the wisdom from whatever that endeavor, circumstance, situation, whatever comes our way. We're supposed to gather the tools to prepare us for the next journey, the next step, the next level. We're always supposed to progress upwards. We're supposed to be, and it's not that we're supposed to be because it's written down, but it's that our soul, our essence, our inner being, the light that makes us, who we are, right? The ability to co-create our future and use our free will and our mind, gather wisdom, embrace the knowledge, utilize the wisdom with every move and motion that we make, right? We're supposed to share it, we're supposed to uplift, because inevitably we're all one. We're all from the same energy, if you will, or emanations from the monad. We're not from here, so we don't have to be subjected to, after we learn the lesson, still not being able to progress. That's just ridiculous. And that will only happen if you choose to go backwards or stand stagnant or not listen or not respond properly to what your energy is nudging you to do, right? And we all know this. We all can feel it on the inside when we go against our own grain, when we try to force a situation that we know we have to wait for, right? That's kind of being a dominator of our own existence. But then again, there are other energies that take advantage and they manipulate and they utilize. So when you're sitting there wondering why things are stagnant or they don't change, or things just don't seem like they're completely right, it's because you're forcing something to go in your way instead of allowing yourself the ability to reflect, to resonate with how that energy actually, is entangled with you. It could be something that you picked up well before your mind was even ready to, adopt it and say, yeah, I believe it. This can happen through trauma. This can happen through forgetting. This could happen through numbing ourselves, or just, departmentalizing and then not going back and looking again and dusting things off to see if maybe that pain point was still as prickly as it once was. But when we realize that everything that we do in the moment, in today's day, in today's existence of life for each one of us, because it's all different for everyone, that when we look at learning lessons, transformation, creativity, leadership of our own existence, and then walking, migrating, and elevating past the 5 into the 6, 7, 8. My lovely collective, I am always here to encourage you, to remind you that you've already received the knowledge and the wisdom that got you this far, and you trusted your gut and you listened to your energy and you responded with it, so it continued to uplift you and take you toward your next destination. And the progression of today, 6, 7, 8, most specifically, I am sending and sharing all of the energy through the atmosphere, the ethers, and when it hits you, when it flows to you, smile and remember that you've transitioned from last month into this month, and you are definitely ready to embrace your journey by progressing up your steps. And you can do that all today by having choice, by choosing, by moving, by smiling, by embracing all of the energy, positive and pure, within the numbers that are leading you toward your best achievements yet, seen or unseen, remembered or not yet surfaced. Keep going, because the more you discover, the more that the memory will come flooding back to you in a warm, vibrant, inviting hug filled with love and possibilities and endless capabilities. Good job. Good job. My lovely collective, I am so very proud of every one of you, just as I am proud of me, for I don't give up, and neither should you. And I progress upwards with every move I make, because that's the intent I have, and that's the motion that I choose to make. Love and light, peace and joy.